good.
Manager here at the Orleans. For those of you that I don't know, our valuable titanium and onyx players, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. This evening, I am very pleased to announce that we're having our Raiders Chalk Talk presented by Boyd Gaming. We're proud of the partnership we have with the Raiders and are excited to have all of you with us here tonight. We hope you enjoy the intimate and exclusive experience. Without further ado, I'll turn it over to Kirk Morrison down at the end of the line.
Thank you, Chris. I'm not done with you yet. Come back up here. I told Chris I'm going to put him on the spot tonight because next week is the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 58 will be here in Las Vegas. Give a round of applause. Yes, Super Bowl is next week. Yes, it's crazy. February 11th, if you didn't know that. Anyway, so Chris, I know this from prior because for some reason, and I bet it's for Kenny when I introduced Kenny and also you too, Greg, everyone thinks that I have Super Bowl tickets. I don't have any. I don't have any Super Bowl tickets. So I asked Chris, has your phone been buzzing just a little bit? Because you're the most important person around here now. Everybody's asking for Super Bowl tickets. Has the phone been ringing so far?
So I will tell you, Kirk, the phone is red hot. I only have 100 extra tickets to Allegiant Stadium right here in my pocket. I'm kidding. Everybody perked up. I will say I now have expanded my family by hundredfold.
This is Kirk Morrison. I played 8 years in the National Football League, 5 years with the Raiders. Spent my last 3 years Jacksonville, my last 2 years with the Buffalo Bills. Thank you, appreciate it. We've got a great night planned for you guys. We do. I've got some guests I can't wait to introduce. We're going to have a nice little discussion about Raiders football. Right? So like Antonio Pearson's done, the new head coach of the Raiders. I'm going to start it off Friday. Here we go. So I can get my voice together. Raiders! I don't know if that was good enough. One more. Raiders! Wow, man, appreciate it. So, courtesy of Boyd Gaming, we're going to be joined by my guests up here. And after we get done with our Raiders Chalk Talk, we've got some presents over there for you, some gifts. We'll be able to sign some autographs. We'll also have a little chance for you guys to ask some questions. So we can have a quick Q&A as well that we'll talk about anything that you want to talk about the Super Bowl. Okay, here we go. A two-time Super Bowl champion, running back for the Raiders, a Pro Bowler in 1980, also the pride of Oklahoma University. He's none other than running back Kenny King. Next guest. He's a Super Bowl champion. He is the Raiders' all-time sack leader in the Raiders' history. He's also a two-time All-Pro out of TCU, none other than Greg Townsend. He's the all-time sack leader, everybody. And he's a hog, too. You guys know what a hog is? Pig Suey, representing the University of Arkansas. He's a rookie, so we can haze him a little bit, right? Raiders offensive tackle, Dalton Wagner, everybody. And our last guest, very unique. The NFL's International Pathway Program has brought us an outstanding young player. He was part of the NFL Africa camp in Ghana, and he was able to be placed here with the Las Vegas Raiders. Had a big sack in the preseason. He's my guy, David Agoha, everybody. David. Now, about that intro tag.
Yeah, AP came in, he took over, I think it was after the Halloween game, and immediately you could tell the difference. High energy guy, plays by the big boy rules, you know, take care of your own business, do your own stuff, and we're not gonna have a problem, you know, and his one ultimate rule is just effort, intensity, and physicality, you know, and that's something I think that he brings really well to the table. You know, he understands what it takes to get to a Super Bowl. He's played at the highest level. He's been an All-Pro, and he's a great leader, fantastic in the locker room, and fantastic on the field as well too. And what you see is what you get with AP. He's not going to try to sugarcoat anything. He's not going to try to protect feelings. He's going to tell you how it is. But the best part about AP is that no matter how hard he's on your butt about stuff, he's going to love you just as hard too.
What about you, David? Because Antonio was a position coach. He was a linebacker coach. He wasn't the coordinator. He was a linebacker coach. And I know he had a big say on what a lot of guys on the defensive side going out there every single week. What did you see from him in that perspective that we probably didn't see outside of him being the head coach?
I would say from my perspective, because AP was the old teammate of the guy that helped me get here, O.C. Manure with the Giants. So I was really happy when I heard it was going to be our new coach. Me and AP, we were close. We talk every day because, you know, he knows OC. He knows, like, the whole program and everything. And everybody just loves AP. Everybody plays for him. We like, if you can see the last games we had, everybody was going hard for him. Like, you could feel it. You could feel the energy from everybody. And the whole team is just happy. We got AP now, so we're ready next season. Let's go.
Absolutely. My alumni, gentlemen, you guys played for a Hall of Fame coach in Tom Flores. You guys won a Super Bowl with Tom Flores as the head coach for the Raiders. I'll start with you, Kenny. Coach Flores had a way of being a player's coach. You wanted to play for him because he not only understood you as a player, but wanted your talents to always take over. You just go and play. Is there something that you see in Antonio Pierce, maybe that kind of correlates to when you played with the Raiders?
Yeah, hello?
There we go.
I'm not used to these things. No, I mean, I think that what Antonio brings to the team is going to be a lot like Tom Flores. Tom Flores he was very soft-spoken. I don't think AP is going to be soft-spoken. I don't see that. But what I do see is that he expects for you to go out there and play and give 100% every day, every game. And that's what we're looking for. And we haven't seen that in a long time. And now you have that coach who understands the history and the trajectory and the path of the Raider organization. That's what's going to make the change. That's what's going to make the difference.
Same with you, Greg. With Antonio, you got a chance to see him. You sat down with him. You've been around the facilities and all that. Oh, we get your mic right. We get your mic. You got your mic going. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now we
go. Yeah, some people say I look like him, but at the same time, Tom's philosophy is the same as AP's philosophy, even though they got different personalities.
Right.
Their philosophy is the same. Go out there, play hard. Don't worry about mistakes. Just play hard and give it all your effort. So, what that entails, that's going to bring winning football back to the Raiders. Yes.
You know, I was thinking about this a little bit earlier, that tonight we're on the eve of Championship Sunday. And that, look, I love that I'm here with you guys, but honestly, I'd rather be hosting the championship game over at Legion Stadium right now with the Raiders, right?
Right.
And so that's the conversation for next year. But Super Bowl 58 comes to Las Vegas next week. Super Bowl 18. You guys played in Super Bowl 18 down in Tampa 40 years ago. As we start to get ready for what I always say is one of the most exciting weeks of the year for all of football, Pop Warner, high school, college. Greg, take me back to that time in Tampa. Super Bowl 18. How was the experience? And it also hoisted that Lombardi Trophy.
Okay, it's gonna take a minute. All right?
Is that okay, y'all?
Yeah. Because we had faced Washington Redskins early that year and they beat us. But they knew it, but they knew they beat us by luck. But at the same time, Marcus Allen did not play in that first game. So Marcus was going to play in that game in the Super Bowl. So we knew we had this game. We really did. We knew we had this game. So the speech we got for the game, the speech we got from Tom Flores is, men, they don't remember second place team. Now, as a young rookie, I'm sitting in that locker room when he said that, and I tried to remember who did Washington beat last year. So at that point, I couldn't think of it, and I said, that's what the old man means. You know, nobody remembers that. So we went out there, like you said, and we beat them in every fashion of the game. Offense, defense, and special teams. So that was one heck of a game. And oh, you want me to take you back to the atmosphere of it and all that stuff? Well, again, we knew Marcus didn't play in that first game. But we went to Tampa, and people, I guess our football team got kind of caught up in all that media hype.
Yeah.
You know, that was just a lot of media taking place. So Matt Millen decided he was going to start a fight and bring back some of that Raider ways, because, you know, when defense guy jump on one offensive guy, then it's kind of a snowball effect, if you will. And so then everybody said, okay, we're ready to play now. And it was just that kind of deal that we just got ourselves back in our Raider way and not caught up in that hoopla, so to speak.
Kitty, what about you? What do you remember most about that moment? More importantly, seeing that Lombardi Trophy, because now I think we all see them when we walk into Allegiant, when we walk to the facility, you walk in, those trophies are on display. What do you remember most about hoisting that trophy?
Well, you know, I got the host at first in Super Bowl 15, but, you know, let's talk, you know, what happened with us is that when we played Super Bowl 15, we played Philadelphia that same year.
Right.
And then what do we play? Then we played Philadelphia in the Super Bowl. We played Washington. We played Washington in Washington, and we played Washington in the Super Bowl.
Right.
All I can say is that when we got to Tampa, we walked in there with swag. I mean, we walked in with a swag and we walked out with a bigger swag because we had a lot of money in our pocket.
See, I'm glad you mentioned that, Kenny, because the one thing that, since Antonio Pierce was the interim coach, now the new head coach, he always kept talking about that swagger. Like, there's a confidence, there's a swagger you have about being a Raider. And so for you, Dalton, was there a point this season where you saw within the team, like, okay, we got our swagger back. We are now the Raiders, where it seemed in the beginning of the season may have been trying to figure it out. At what point do you remember, okay, we got it now?
Yeah, honest to God, once AB was announced as the interim head coach, you could feel an atmosphere change. And that very first practice, you could tell, like, there's something coming this Sunday. Like, you could tell it was coming. And AB brought that mentality of confidence, because confidence is so crucial in this game. And letting loose, playing it for your brothers, man, and like the confidence portion of football is super underrated. You can know every responsibility that you're going to do, and you can know you can be the strongest, fastest human in the world, but if you don't have any confidence in yourself, guy could be the worst player in the league and he'll eat you alive on the other side of the ball. And so for AP to be able to come in right away, bring that confidence, that swagger back to this team was fantastic, because there's just that energy we needed, and we let the games at that point like take care of themselves. Like, we knew, okay, we know our game plan, we know our assignments, we've been running this offense, this defense for how long? Like, coaches really haven't changed besides our head coach, you know, and coordinator as well, but the same offense still. And so we went out there and you made a decision at that point of just cut it loose. Like, AP always said, we're playing with house money, man. He's like, we got nothing to lose. We're playing with house money. So that's what a lot of guys took to heart, and they went out, they cut it loose, and the result spoke for itself. And some games we should have won a little better. Came down to penalties, execution, stuff like that. But man, it's a whole different team when you turn on that tape.
For you, David.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Real quick. Kenny and I was at that game when AP got that interim job.
Yeah.
And we can see where we were sitting from, that y'all was going to win that game. I mean, that's just the feeling we got just sitting up there. Because you lit the torch there.
No, I lit the torch that day, but I also said that if Josh Jacob gets 100 yards today, guess what's going to happen? We're going to kick his ass.
I love
he
it.
got 100, but he lost a few and dropped back down to 99. But you know what? He was there.
David, you've come over from the from Africa, from Ghana, and people always talk about the Raider way or the Raider mystique. You've been here a short time. What can you say about the Raider mystique and putting that Raider uniform on?
Right now, with AP, when I saw things were going different, first day of meetings, we started playing rap music before meetings. And after we win the game, smoking cigars and shit, I was like, man, it's different. It's right now. We cooking.
Greg, for a couple
Like
decades.
Oakland down to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It just seemed like they just pick up fans along the way, man. It just seemed like the young fans come aboard and they just get more into the Raiders. Just that silver and blackness.
Yeah.
I think that just do it for them. But now we bring it back some winning for them. It just seemed to be very more exciting again. Where, when we see us play against the Kansas City Chiefs, we got a shot. We got a shot in this, and then we win in those games. That's what I like about this thing. What's your question?
That was the question on this. See how excited he gets? No, because I was born and raised in Oakland, California, so all I know is being a Raider fan. I don't know anything different. I rooted against the team across the bay that plays tomorrow, and I'm rooting against them tomorrow as well. So let's go Lions. But I've always said this though, with the Raiders moving to Las Vegas, I felt that because of the city of Las Vegas that never really had a sports footprint, that this is where all of Raider Nation around the country, around the world, we all got a place to come and visit. We all got a place to come and be a part of it. And so my question is, walking around and people realize, oh my God, that's Greg Townsend. What do you tell them? What was it like being a Raider?
That's a good question. Because I very seldom get that now, especially coming around in Vegas. It's like it's all about the new players per se. We kind of get blended in with the past, I guess. Some of them don't even know. That's just a good question. Ask Kenny now.
Yeah, well, you do, Kenny, because people always ask you. They're going to say, man, how was it playing for the Raiders? What is it like to play with the Raiders? What is it like to put that silver and black uniform on and that helmet?
Well, the first question is, what was, how do you feel? I'm excited because when somebody recognizes who I am, that right there means a lot to me. And, because there's some guys that, you'll go up to them and you'll say a name and it's not the right name, and they cuss you out. I'm gonna just say, hey, thank you very much, but that's not my name. But no, I'm very thankful. I'm very appreciative of what I've done and what I was able to bring. And people come up to me and like, we're talking about how many years ago? 40-some years ago, and I had Super Bowl record and for 16 years, and people still come to me. I remember that play just like it was yesterday. And I go along with it. You remember it like yesterday, we're going to talk about it like it was yesterday. So, but to be a Raider, what does it mean to be a Raider?
Yeah.
God, let me tell you something. Al Davis said to me, when he traded for me, and he traded for me from the Houston Oilers, he gave Jack Tatum and 2 7th-round draft picks for this 3rd-round pick for the Houston Oilers, who was a 6th running back on their roster the year before. And when I got to Oakland, I'm in training camp. We're up in Santa Rosa, and I've never met Mr. Davis. I thought Al Locasell was Mr. Davis. And so I said that, and somebody said, no, that's Al Locasell. That's not Al Davis. But anyways, Mr. Davis came up to me and he said to me, he says, Kenny, when I saw you play Colorado, I saw you split that secondary, and I knew I had to have you. Welcome to the Raider organization. And I tell you what, once a Raider, always a Raider.
Let me ask you real quick.
One of his great quotes was always, the Raider organization is always about the future. The greatness of the Raiders is always in its future. And so Dalton, I would ask you, when the season ended this year, and season's over, and now everything for the Raiders is 2024, what excites you now about the future and getting ready to start back up after the Super Bowl's done and we start the 2024 process of the season? What excites you about what's upcoming?
Yeah, I mean, everything, I suppose. It's hard to break it down into specifics, but man, it's such a special game that you train year-round for 17 guaranteed opportunities. That's it. 3.5 hours times 17. That's about it. But you're training thousands and thousands of hours out of the year for it. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to see what our new GM can do with bringing guys in. He's a storied GM. He built a really good Chargers roster up. I'm even more excited for AP to see who he's going to bring in on the offensive side as well too. And once we get rolling on a lot of this stuff, it's going to go fast and it's going to go quick. And I'm most looking forward to just getting back in the building with the guys. Continue to build that camaraderie, continue to see the new players we got, bring them under the wing and everything, and be able to just get back into it all, because the season's only been over for about 3 weeks now, I think it is. It feels like an eternity, and now it's like you're just itching, you just want to get back to it right away. But this upcoming offseason is going to be really huge for us, get under the new coordinator system, and see who else he brings in. But it's going to be fantastic, and I'm really, really looking forward to it, because AP is the guy behind the helm now, and restraints are off. He's about to roll, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Got a couple more questions here. Got another opportunity. But for you, what excites you about this franchise? What excites you about the team looking forward?
Well, like my teammate said, everything, to be honest. We have AP now, a new GM. I'm just ready to see, if we're going to get, a new quarterback, what the offense going to look like, the defense going to look like, if I'm going to play, so, So we just ready to see what, the next season brings, and just ready to play and win,
I always like to kind of wrap it up a little bit with sort of the moment that you remember the most, the one that sticks out to you the most. When someone asks Greg Townsend, what is your fondest moment as a Raider? What's that moment?
My rookie year, it was the third game of the season. We was playing Monday night against the Miami Dolphins. And I made the team, but I haven't did nothing. And I was just sitting on the edge of my bed before the game, and I said, you know what? I play defensive end, right? You think I would just want a sack or someone got a tackle? I said, I want to run a touchdown today. I said, I want to run a touchdown. I said, I know if I run this touchdown back, the boys down in TCU gonna go crazy. Gonna go nuts. We called the jet blue slash. That's the Raiders' only blitz. We didn't have no blitz. We weren't a blitzing team back then, but we had one. And Rod Martin came off the side and hit Woodley, knocked the ball out of his hand. I picked the ball up. I heard Ted Hendricks go, follow me, because everything slowed down. I'm not touching that ball. It just made everybody slow down. He said, follow me. And I ran behind him and got a cut and ran 66 yards for a touchdown. God is good, and he hears your prayers. That was mine, on top of winning the Super Bowl, too, though. But that was my first one.
I I love those stories because you don't get a chance to hear those. So this is why being here, we get a chance to hear those types of moments that make up so much of our Raider history. For you, Kenny, what's that memory for you?
I know fond memories.
No, I'll tell you, it was Super Bowl 15.
Okay.
It's my second year in the league, and I just got traded from the Houston Oilers to the Raiders, and I'm with the Raiders, and we're in Super Bowl, and I'm standing there with Jim Plunkett and Mark Van Eegen being introduced as the starting halfback for the Oakland Raiders. I got my mother didn't go to the game. She was there. She's a devout Christian, and she was not. The pastor told him, Eliza, you can go to the game, it's okay. But she says no. So she stayed at the hotel. My dad was there with my nephew and a bunch of people from Clarendon, Texas. And to be standing there being introduced as a starting halfback, I'm biting my lip and I bit a hole in my lip. That's how intense it was. But that was one of the biggest moments in my career.
And you said you didn't have an exciting
Yes, you got it.
Oh, I can talk.
Last couple right here. Dalton, for you, we have a rookie moment this year where it was like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I got two. One kind of leads into the other pretty well. The first biggest one, we were in OTAs, like the first practice we're out there, and you don't really think about it much because you're trying not to think, when you're out there, last thing you want to do is be thinking about things. So we're in the huddle, get the play, we're just going to run our 5-man empty protection, 70 pro. And I get out there, jog up to the line, and Max Crosby's across from me. And I'm like, huh. I'm like, yeah, that's okay. And then you look down the line, and Chandler Jones on the other side. It's like, huh. I'm like, this is it now. Like, this is the NFL. Like, you're not going against rookies anymore. You're not going against other guys. Like, not against rookies, you know what I mean? But like, these are established players. These are all pros. And I'm like, it was a moment for me that was like, this is the NFL. And in typical rookie fashion, I made it about half a kick by before Max was already 5 steps up the field, and it was a sack. But regardless, it was a good moment to learn about things and to understand like what it takes to win at this level and at the highest level. Which Max, I know he's a finalist right now for Defensive Player of the Year. Biases aside, I think he should win it. Like, I really do. I mean, he's one of the greatest players I've seen, and he plays the entire game. And it's unbelievable. And so, leading into my next point was, we had the 49ers come to town for joint practices, and we went out there for the game, and I remember just taking my first set, and it felt like an eternity I was waiting for. Because the whole time I'm going against Max, I'm going against David, like all of our really fast DNs, and all of a sudden it's like we get out there in the game, and it feels like I'm waiting forever because this guy's like still not even out of the stance yet. And it was one of those moments, and to me, that I recognize that an excellent player like Max can have such an impact on a rookie, and a guy like David too. Like, he's taught David so many moves, and David's night and day difference from when he first got here. And guys that never really played football before. And it's insane. He's a great edge rusher now. And he's the ability for a vet to put such an impact on rookies like us, and to let you understand like, this is what it takes to be at the highest level. Like, you can play here, but to get to my level, like, it's going to be a lot more you're going to have to do. And so those are kind of my two moments of, it's kind of like a welcome to the show kind of thing. Like, you got a lot more work to do.
What's that moment for you, David?
For me, I would say when I got my first sack, the Rams game.
That was the easiest sack I ever seen.
It was not easy.
It was wide open. I remember though. Go ahead.
David, I know it wasn't easy.
It
It wasn't easy, man. So,
Well, tell me about the sack dance though. That's what I want to know more about.
Because I noticed that the tackles, like, they were not like in sync. The tackle and the guard, if I may say. So I told the tackle, I was like, well, let's run this stuff. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. Went out there, saw the ball snap. My D tackle a little bit slow, so I had to, slow down a little bit, give him time to, get to the guard. And I went through and I looked, the quarterback was right there. I was like, oh my God, it's right there. I couldn't believe my eyes. I just jumped on him, trying to get the ball. I got my first sack, and I was so hyped, I was just screaming. I almost fainted. went into the locker room. I got the game ball. And it was just an awesome moment.
I turn it over to you guys. Any questions for our guests up here? Any questions?
Of all the linebackers that you played against, which one did you fear the most?
None of them. I will tell you this: the hardest hit that I ever took from a linebacker, we were playing the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. There was a guy named Fulton Kuykendall, and Fulton was like 6'2", 240. I was 5'11", 205, and we met. Their linebackers line up 5 yards deep off the line. I'm 5 yards deep, and we met right on the line of scrimmage. My ear rang for 3 days. Yeah, that was the hardest I've ever been hit by a linebacker. But as far as the most prominent linebacker that I played against, probably Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, see, the word is not fear, the word is compete.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Any other questions?
Who would you say is your favorite NFL player of all time, either past or present, and why?
Marcus Allen, because he can do it all. Block, pass, catch, throw. He can do it all. So,
Okay.
Well, you know, I'm going to go. Damn, there's so many.
I know.
I mean, there's a lot. There's
a hard one. Everybody said other than yourself.
Well, no, it's not me. I mean, it's not me. I guess for me, I would say Earl Campbell. I played behind Earl in Houston, and I got to carry the ball 3 times for 9 yards because Earl was always on the field. And this guy was a real deal. And you know, I got to play him in when Oklahoma and Texas was playing, in the bowl, playing the Cotton Bowl. But to see him, to actually be on the team with him, good God, that man, he took a beating. I saw when we were playing in '79, we played the Raiders, and Jack Tatum hit him on the goal line. I mean, and they both fell backwards, but Earl fell into the end zone. But I tell you what, Earl came into the locker room. He's like his skull. He comes in, he takes a big old chew, and he just sits there. He'll just sit there for about 30, 40 minutes. No one is allowed to talk to him because he's just so beat up. Yeah, it was exhausting.
Thank you. You, Dalton? Got one?
Yeah, so I grew up in Northern Illinois, so my number one was always Walter Payton. Just being able to, I was never blessed enough to watch him live, but to be able to just go back, you can watch tape on it, and the history of the Bears back then was just fantastic. And to see him run and the man he was off the field, I mean, you got the Man of the Year award named after him. Like, he made such a tremendous impact, both on and off the field, that you can't help but just respect it.
You, David?
For me, it's Max Crosby, to be honest. Like, I've never seen any player that goes 100% every time, every day. Like, no matter, we could just try to create a game right now, try to shoot a paper clip somewhere, and he will go 100% and try to win every single time. He's max to the max. I've learned so much from him, just being a man, just being a defensive end. It's Max Crosby all the way.
I know for me, this may be against Raider policy, but I grew up a Raider fan, and watching the Raiders throughout my life, they were always my team. But there was always this guy that wore number 58 in red and white for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm like, this dude always beating us up. And I just watched him more and more. And so when I was a Pop Warner, when I played my first year of Pop Warner, they had these jerseys laid out. There was only a couple numbers left. And I saw that number 58, and I was like, if there's a player that I want to emulate, it would be the late, great Derek Thomas. And so that was the guy that kind of first started it for me. And I played defensive end. So I know he's a Kansas City Chief, but I thought he made our Raiders a better team as well, how good he was.
Thank you all. Go Raiders.
I love the Raiders.
Yes.
Best president Yep.
was that energy. I loved it. Like
Christmas
Kansas
Day
City.
beating Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas Day beating Kansas City in front of the world, as I say. Everybody was watching that game.
Yeah, I think the greatest part of that game was showing, like you said, showing the world like what the Raiders are capable of. Like, we ain't just a pushover. We ain't just gonna be a stepping stone to your playoffs or anything. Like, we're gonna go out there, we're gonna dominate, we're gonna compete, and to see the game that our guys had was just fantastic. You know, offensive line was firing on all cylinders. Defense was going crazy. Jack Jones, 2 picks, I think it was, right? 1 pick, 6, 2 picks, and they back to back in like 6 seconds. It was unbelievable against, you know, one of the really good quarterbacks in our league too. And it's that energy and that enthusiasm is so infectious, and you can see it through the play that nobody was coming off that field without laying everything out there. And it wasn't, at that point, it wasn't about like what the future's gonna be, what anything's gonna be. It's gonna be about, we're going out there and we're gonna inflict as much pain and physical violence on the Chiefs as we could. And that was AP's message the entire week. And the guys bought into it, and they went out there and kicked some butt.
You got to remember that one, David, just being the guys coming back and being there.
Yeah, the energy going into the game, I was like, man, we're going to win. Because they didn't care we were going to the Chiefs' home. Nobody cared. We were just going to go 100% next play. So I already knew who was going to win, so it was not like a surprise to me.
All right, last question right here.
I would love you guys to be in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks, but you can't. We're all gamblers here. I'm asking the question everyone's asking. What are your guys' picks for the Super Bowl?
Oh, man. So tomorrow, yes. Let's see. Kansas City and Baltimore versus Detroit and San Francisco. I feel like the Super Bowl matchup that I think we're going to get is the 2 number 1 seeds. They've been the best teams all year. I think Lamar Jackson will be the NFL's MVP. They have a great defense. And I think that the Ravens get it done. On the opposite side, I can't root, I can't look, I'm going for the Lions. I can't tell you they're gonna win or not, but I'm going for the Lions, so I hope we get a Baltimore-Detroit Super Bowl. I don't know about you guys. You guys even want to make a pick? The Lions playing against the 49ers. I don't talk about the 49ers. That's white and cheese and all that stuff. You guys got a pick on that one for the
Yeah, I can
Lions?
see that because Debo Samuel's not playing, at least not 100%. So I can see Detroit winning that out. And I can certainly see Lamar pulling that out. They played all their games close, and so when you play close, you can win them. I don't care as long as Kansas City is in it.
There you go.
Oh, man. Well, I want to thank. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I want to thank you all for the questions. I want to thank our guys, our guests, the great Greg Townsend, Kenny Wagner for joining us, and David Agoha. We're not done yet. I want to thank, obviously, Boyd Gaming for having this Raiders Talk, being able to talk football, Raiders football with you guys, share some of our memories that we love sharing with you all from our playing days and our current players right now still experiencing the National Football League. So not only you got a chance to hear from us, you're going to go back over there as well. We've got some gifts for you guys to make sure you get. And then we're going to have some autographs, some pictures, and have a good little time over the next about an hour or so of just saying hello. So for myself, Kirk Morrison, all my guests up here, I want to thank you all for coming. And one last time, Raiders! Raiders! All right, thank you all for coming out.
Hello.
I'm good. Yourself? How you doing?
Hi.
Good. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Yes.
Okay.
Push the little white circle.
I don't know. I guess. I don't even know is it going. If it's going. So he likes the video.
Oh, okay. Hop in there.
I need the video. Come on. I don't know. Please.
I can hold the phone if you
You want to get in the picture too, ma'am?
Just let him go first and then.
Appreciate you guys coming out. Like to sign that? Of course. Anywhere in particular? Wherever you like. Yeah, we did. Thank you. One time I'm going to be able to sign it.
Okay, take a picture. Take a picture, Mark. All right.
Yeah, I'll get some.
But anyway, this is my son Mark. He wants
There.
your autograph.
You want to?
Yes.
That's our everything.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby. You're fine. Take a picture. Okay.
Thank you. All right, so here's my swag we got from the party at the Orleans. That was an invited guest party from Boyd Gaming. So it was pretty cool. I didn't know what it was going to be. I got to go with my mother, so it was good to be able to meet the players, listen to them all talking, and got some swag.